exactly is in this trip for both Trump and Modi?
Well, it's interesting that the objectives of this trip don't seem to have been clearly defined by the US administrations. But most of all, I suppose, really, given the fact that that big trade agreement that at one stage had been spoken of as being a possible product of this visit isn't going to happen. The most important thing, perhaps, is the visuals here. And there's no doubt, as we've been hearing from our correspondent at the stadium in Gujarat, in terms of visuals, this is just made for Donald Trump.
It's all about optics, isn't it?
The optics are fantastic. 125,000 people crammed into that stadium, all of them shouting his name. And there's no doubt either that in India, Donald Trump is popular. We often hear about how unpopular this administration is around the world. Well, India is one country where Donald Trump is actually popular. And it's an opportunity for him to play those images back to the United States at a time when the images coming from the Democratic Party of rancor and dispute, arguments over policy as they scrabble with each other to gain the right to contest the election with Donald Trump later on in this year. He appears at this moment presidential. He's touring India. He's bathing in the glory of the attention from the crowds and from the friendship he's getting from President Modi of India as well, Prime Minister Modi of India as well. So, it is a huge opportunity for him in that sense. For Narendra Modi, too, it's an opportunity because he's been going through some tough times recently. A lot of criticism over his decision to strip Kashmir, predominantly Muslim Kashmir, of its autonomy last August. A lot of criticism came his way, both domestically and internationally, and also because of his decision to introduce changes to the Citizenship Act, which would grant citizenship amnesty to nationals from 3 neighbouring countries, so long as they were not Muslim. Now, in a country where there is a very large Muslim population, 200 million, it's not gone down well, and there have been demonstrations going on ever since it was introduced last December. So this is a chance for him to also reflect in the glory of a visit by the leader of the world's most powerful country. And that's what he's doing.
There's been talk of a trade deal, but that doesn't seem to be on the cards at the moment, does it?
No. There was talk, you're right, for a long while. It looked like it was a possibility. And, it makes sense. India is a very big country, the 7th biggest economy in the world. Trade between the two countries is a colossal $160 billion. But part of the problem lies in Donald Trump's obsession with getting trade absolutely perfectly balanced, so there's no advantage to one country or the other. At the moment, India has an advantage in its trade relations with the United States. The US has a trade deficit somewhere in the region of 25 billion. He is determined to remove that, and he's imposed tariffs, or has ensured that his government has imposed tariffs on Indian aluminium, for instance, Indian steel, to which India has responded with tariffs of its own on US agricultural products, medical equipment, and so on, to which the United States responded in 2019 by knocking India off its preferential trade program, the Generalized System of Preferences. So since then, relationships when it comes to trade have soured and haven't made much progress, which is not to say nothing will come out of this trip. There has been talk, for instance, of a deal on nuclear technology, on the possibility that the US company Westinghouse will get a contract for building 6 nuclear reactors in India. There is certainly going to be a deal on the sale of US military helicopters to India worth a lot of money. But again, one has to say that when it comes to military equipment, a lot has been spoken about this deal. When it comes to military equipment, Russia sells far more to India than the US does. France sells far more military equipment to India than the US does. So, a lot of progress to be made.
Rob Parsons, thank you for that analysis.